And when you change your look at you change your look at each other. And you stop wanting the other to live like you want. Because those who are satisfied with their own life have no need to invite the other's life. Those who are satisfied with their own life will be tolerant with each other who has chosen to live differently. Enough of these boring Christians who are all the time despising who doesn't live the way he thinks it is best. Neither Jesus did it. On the contrary, Jesus welcomed people. So any change that has to happen, that happens after you love yourself again. To love yourself like God before. It may seem strange, but if you look at the HR of Jesus, it was the worst in human history. He only chose people who could not pay. That's why I'm here. I didn't get in the front door. I was never the accredited seminarian. I was never the one who someone, this boy will be a priest. There is nothing. It's just a study. I didn't get in the front door. And I make sure that you who don't feel invited to get ahead either, stick to me. And then that we can insist until the end that this God does not give up on us. For me, for you, that really our needs are the same. And some of them just over time we will find out. There are things that are no use you try to understand the moment you are not prepared to understand this. The greatest wealth we can have in life is to love and be loved. But sometimes we take time to find out that. We delude ourselves. We think that the greatest wealth we can have is in what the day finds. And we often spend a good time from our lives believing it, including investing in it. And it's no problem that you work on this mind, that you build your dreams, that you do everything to have the financial resource to live well and live happily. But never forget that the time will come to your life that you will understand that true wealth is not the money that can bring you. Some things money buys, but what really sustains a human being standing, without fear of making mistakes, is not the money he brings. It is the heart that conquers. And you have to have these two things around. Living to get what money buys is no problem. I say again, work a lot, study a lot, extract your possibilities as much as possible. Because they can bring a lot of material riches. It is no problem you grow, but never forget the riches that will make you feel that life was worthwhile. It will not be your bank account. It will not be the buildings, the houses. Will be the ones you made. There is nothing more beautiful than that. And that you look to the side and you realize that your life has a huge wealth that you have taken time to realize. And that love is not a graphic investment for the day. There's nothing richer at all, guys, than you trust someone. There is nothing more precious than being with a person you can trust, who you can count on. It is not meaningless that within our home, it is the learning of love. There is no other place for us to live this. Since when you entered this world, someone had to love you very radically. If not, you would not survive. The first phases of life, we are entirely dependent on those who love us. And that's how we learn. It's not reading the books. Loving, we learn by loving, exercising. And that's how we build the wealth that money doesn't buy. And that you may even have the opportunity to buy good companies. Just have some money. Just have a party. Just release. And you will always be surrounded by people. But don't worry, your money can buy. For the emotional dimensions, why don't we also identify these indigencies that cannot be measured? I have no way to measure how much you are jealous. But this is indigence. Because jealousy puts you in an unfavorable situation before yourself. You lose peace. You lose peace. No relationship is healthy when jealousy, this feeling of possession, is going through their way. Or the way of between mother and a son, between a son and a father. Jealousy is established where there are people. And without fear of making mistakes, we all have a dose of jealousy. There is no jealousy of anyone. A lie. In addition, he is a liar. Because deep down you have It's because you may be emotionally comfortable, go through a process, a threat of losing to you to see. When we are in the comfort of emotion, it is natural that we do not recognize that it is jealous. The discomfort is that it will show where your fragility is. So well, it's no problem you recognize that it's biased to feel jealousy, wanting the other for you, okay? But this indigence needs to be worked on. It is commitment. Qualifies the human being when he will be willing to live this daily commitment to improving what he has, what he is, what he can, what he cannot. As I take care of everything that makes me who I am taking more autonomy, I get freer. Okay, atheists and Christians are at the same level of fighting. No one is dismissed. The human being, if he does not strive to overcome his ills, he will never live the condition of person. He is limited to being an individual who can very little offering himself. Do we have this challenge? Shouldn't it be a pessimistic view? We here, when we assume these two indigencies, physical indigence and inner indigencies of inner life, which reflect on moral dimensions, affective issues, spiritual issues, we are then facing a field to work. And the first step I even wanted to write down here. The first step I need to establish for myself is the knowledge of mercy. God's mercy is mercy that will give me a position to make a positive experience of my limit. Because when I am exposed to my limit, I have two possibilities. I understand him positively, like a flag that will help me go through the difficult paths and reach my place. Or I understand him as ugly, sad, that I'm ashamed. It is the culture of rejection. How many of us were traumatized when we expose ourselves miserable to someone? How many of us here have created an inner rejection for ourselves? Because what you offered from yourself was not enough to brighten each other. And when we are children, we still have no maturity to be able to say, I have no obligation to make you happy. This is with the time we get free from IT. No, and so? Only time goes on maturing us to realize. Look, if you like me, good. Otherwise, there are billions and billions of people in the world you may like. I don't have to adapt to what you want to be wanted for you. A child does not have this maturity. A child naturally suffers the imposition of the eyes that take over her, because she is experiencing two indigencies, and one more prevalent, which is physical indigence. It is amazing our dependence on father and mother. How do we need you like us? It hurts. And sometimes you don't like what I truly show you. Your gaze reproves me, and I'm not showing you as. There is no harmony all the time. Life, precisely because it is alive, is movement. Heraclitus, a philosopher of the first we had in the history of philosophy, said that life is coming. That is, we are in the process of becoming constantly moving. He said it is impossible for you to bathe twice in the water of the same river, because when you jump, he is one, left, he is already another. While you are there, the river is passing. It is movement. While the river is movement, it is also chaotic. It is out of order. But it is also beautiful. He is refreshing. He is healthy. There are always the two realities all of the time being observed. It's a question I always like to ask myself. What do I fall into people when I arrive in an environment? Yes, because I also identify myself as the one who brings confusion, as the one who removes peace, as the one who gets trouble. Yes. I'm not free from it. But I don't want to be that. So you realize some people so used to being like this no longer problematize. The atmosphere is good when it arrives. It gets heavy, too critical, sharp, nauseous, boring. No. It doesn't have to be so. I will have to deal with precariousness all the time, with chaotic realities, because we are like this. I have a nature that can be harmonious in me. I fight for that. I seek in my daily life to establish within my conduct, within agenda of the day. I try to put my self-awareness, the opportunity to learn to deal with me, so that I know how to know my mechanisms, why I feel that way, why I'm undecided, why I have easy to piss off with that kind of reality, with that kind of stimulus. I'm doing my homework, but I don't stop being chaotic. I walk towards a harmonization of all this, but all the time I experience chaotic. Sometimes we become heavy people for others because we are not sensitive to realize that we are like this, that we are used to being like this. From everything we complain, for everyone we complain. We lost already. We no longer have the perception of how much we complain. And of course we become a weight for another. Because no one likes to be with a person who complains all the time. Or we become gossiping and find it natural to make gossip all the time. Comment on life there all the time. We arrived in an environment we cause nothing but gossip. We do not cause good fruits, which is unfortunate. We waste the opportunity to turn the environment with our lives, with our way of being. Life is like this. Life has contrary, as the song says. Law has once, for free has its price. And I need to identify in my daily life all these realities, understand them and absorb what is favorable of all this. Because sometimes we have a temptation to think that the contradictory cannot favor us. Maybe yes. When I experience my contradiction, when I experience my hypocrisy, when I experience my transgression, there I have the opportunity to learn good rules. In my weakness is that I am strong. Sao Paulo said, "It is the discourse of contradiction." I know you live the same challenges as me, because we are the same. We may even be in different stages, but at some point in life, we have been the same. We had the same fears, rejoiced by the same causes, and faced the very same challenges. And one of them is this. We have managed to extract from us to be able to tear from the bottom of this bruised humanity the courage, so that the gospel becomes a very living reality in us. I believe that the more mature we get, the greater the ability to live with the opposites of life, even because they are everywhere. If there is one thing we need to lose naturally is the naive view of things. The first naive view we need to win is that everything will be as we want it to be. It starts there. It is already a jump of maturity when we find that, no, the world will not spin. Things will not be the way we imagine it will be. All reality is immersed in a living process that gives it a feature of being chaotic as well. It is this daily opportunity that we have to offer the other what Christ has done in their heart. The barriers that he has already knocked within us, or everything we have already achieved from us. Because of the daily commitment. To be able to choose between what we have given to us genetically and what was socially conditioned to us. This space of choice. And maturity is precisely when you begin to understand the world without the illusions that everything will be harmonious. Overcome these illusions, these childish, primary understandings in us. It is so fundamental even for us to establish good relationships. You need to start from the principle that you can love a person, that you can establish a crease with them, but it will not be perfect. The only perfect love that exists is that rose that exists in the gardens. It's the only one we know. All others are marked by qualities and limits, and it is only possible to live love. To live the good relationships, if we have this enlightened conscience that they will not be perfect. Here today, we are saying that our love can often be the result of our need. This is what Jesus speaks. When I am not free to love, when I am tied to my needs, I want to love to be loved too. I want to love to be admired for the other. I want to make a gesture of charity so that this can reverberate, and the others will admire me. It is a whole concern with exteriority. The love I love has to first act in the deepest dimensions of my life. There where everything is backstage, where there is no publicity. We are justified all the time. We pretend to be a Christian all the time and pretend, well, kick, rejected it. Do you think I do not observe this in me every day? Without fear of recognizing here for you. So many times I am hypocritical because I am not able to make the same choices of Jesus, because I'm not able to recognize what really needs me. Where do I need to exercise the royalty of Jesus? Without vanity, without excesses, no arrogance, without arrogance, even in ideas. Because this is interesting, my people. When a person has this living God natural in herself, they naturally add to her many other people who want to live the same experience. Then you understand why the gospel is contagious. That a person truly converted to the gospel, it becomes an attractive, not in the superficial sense of being an attraction, but of provoking the attraction, of being a point of convergence. Yes, we have experienced this a lot inside our home. When you identify that there are some people, it is usually the father, the mother, or an aunt, a grandmother. Someone who has this strength, this charisma of adding, how God uses these people to harmonize difficult situations, create peace in the context of difficulties, to be that weighted person who helps us understand the middle ground. These people are very fundamental in human life. If we want to think of our Christianity with great responsibility, we will have to pass our reflection for this sieve. What do we believe? What do we do with what do we believe?